California is often described as a place where East meets West. East Meets West is also the name of a new documentary series just in time for this Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. The series takes viewers on a visual journey along the Silk Road through the camera lens of legendary National Geographic photographer Michael Yamashita.
When I first got the idea to do the Marco Polo route, I wanted to do it for the sheer adventure of it. I started with an open mind. I decided I was going to use his book, like my guidebook, and travel the route and make up my own mind as to whether he made it or not.
From Venice to Shangri-La to the Great Wall, Yamashita's work and adventure are the focus of this 9-part series produced by former CNN anchor and Bay Area native Farlan Chang. Farlan grew up in Walnut Creek, but he joins us now from where the Marco Polo story begins, in Venice. Good afternoon, or I guess good evening to you, Farlan. Hello.
Good evening, Kristen. Yes, 9 hours ahead of you here in Venice. Indeed, Venice is the beginning of the Silk Road from west to east. And Michael Yamashita has devoted his life to following the greatest explorers who traveled along the Silk Road. Marco Polo, you saw the trailer to our first episode just there. The greatest overland explorer. And Michael also followed Zheng He, China's greatest admiral, along the so-called maritime Silk Road. And so that is a big part of our series of traveling around and retracing the footsteps of these great explorers.
All right. In fact, let's hear from Michael himself.
We are all environmentalists, and of course, I am very concerned about the environment and protecting what we have here. In telling stories about the Far East, I can tell you that much of what I photographed, you can't shoot again.
Wow. You know, Michael, people who know him know he's an icon. He's captured some of the world's most memorable images of the Far East. And, you know, people know that he has, 2 million followers on Instagram. What they don't know, though, is, you know, what he touched on there is just that so much of what he captured over the years has changed. Farlan, can you talk about the urgency to these stories being told now due to the changing climate and environment?
Absolutely. You know, Michael is, of course, one of the greatest photographers of all time, a legendary storyteller for National Geographic. And he is an ambassador of Nat Geo's motto, which is to illuminate and protect the wonder of our world. And he has had the privilege of capturing so much of what sadly is disappearing, so much along the Silk Road. And he's devoted his career to helping to advance that mission of preserving what once was. And as you heard, he is always looking for those things which we are taking for granted and trying to call to action for all of us to be able to do our part in conserving and preserving what we have, which is the one shared planet.
What to you is the most important thing about kind of sharing these stories of East and West and kind of bridging the understanding through looking at the experience via both perspectives? Why is that important?
Well, you know, I think when you look at those two explorers, Marco Polo and Zheng He, I mean, Michael likes to say that if Marco Polo was alive today, he would be a National Geographic photographer or writer. He would be educating people. He would be showing the world, presenting the world, just as Marco Polo did, helping the West understand the East. And in this day and age, we are certainly going through lots of misunderstanding and division and polarization and fragmentation. And whatever we can do to educate, to inform, to help people to people exchange and learn about each other's history and culture and way of life, that is a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, and there's so much here to discover. I mean, sad to say, as a Chinese American, I actually did not know about Zheng He and his travels and how his expeditions, just like Marco Polo's, really changed Europe and influenced Europe in so many ways. It caused so much more prominent change in China and also the Western world. So this is fantastic to learn that. But also for you photography buffs, this series also contains a masterclass from Michael, right?
Indeed. You know, Michael has a huge following on Instagram, around 1.8 million fans. And you can see for yourself at Yamashita Photo on Instagram as well as on Facebook. His photos show his body of work over the course of 40 years. And not only do people have a chance to appreciate and what he has captured along the Silk Road and the facts and the figures and the history, but people also have a chance to learn from the master himself. And in this day and age, we all have our smartphones and we're all taking pictures. And so one of our episodes is indeed a master class from the master, people learning about the way in which Michael is using lighting and composition and all these other secrets of the trade, if you will.
Well, that's great. I'm glad he's revealing those secrets because Michael's work is terrific. He is from San Francisco, by the way, folks. There's another local tie for you. You should check it out. The website is www.EastMeetsWestFilm.com. All right, congratulations, Farland. Thank you so much. We'll take a short break and be right back.
Thank you so much.
All right, Farland, we actually have 2 more minutes to finish up on Facebook Live. We're done with the TV portion of this, but maybe you can run folks through briefly the 9 chapters, the 9 different episodes and what they entail.
Absolutely. If we have a chance to show the trailer, we have a 3-minute trailer, and you can actually show that while we're speaking. We, of course, are going to start with those 2 great explorers, Marco Polo, the world's greatest overland explorer, Zheng He, the China's greatest admiral, the one that Michael, you must like to say many people have never even heard of. And then we go on to other parts of the Silk Road, Shangri-La, the so-called Tea Horse Road to Lhasa, Tibet, as well as the Great Wall from beginning to end. In addition, we are looking at his masterclass, his top tips, and we're also going on the road and joining him on assignment and seeing the way in which one of Nat Geo's most celebrated and acclaimed photographer works. So those are some of the topics. Oh, yes. And New York City, by the way, New York City Flying High, which happens to be where Mike lives now. So we get a chance to see aerial photography and how to capture landscapes from high above.
Nice. A little bit off the Silk Road there in New York City, but that's fantastic as well. I mean, watching those pictures, looking at those pictures and your video really makes me want to go there. And I feel like one of Nat Geo's, missions has always been to kind of create this sense of wonder in us and adventure in us and wanting to get to know our world and not just through these pictures, but through them luring us into actually wanting to go there and learn the culture,
People say travel, life is like a book, and people who don't travel, they only read 1 page.
Okay,
people also like to say...
On those words of wisdom, I got to get out of here. We're out of time. Thank you so much, Farland. Congratulations on East Meets West. Thank you so much for joining us on this interactive show, Getting Answers Today. We'll be here every weekday at 3 on air and on live stream answering your questions. World News Tonight with David Muir is coming up next. Have a great day.